Hi, my name is Andrea Grotolli. I'm the president of the International Coral Reef Society and a distinguished professor at The Ohio State University. Thank you for inviting me to give this talk. I will be presenting Rebuilding Coral Reefs, a Decadal Grand Challenge, a paper written by the International Coral Reef Society with its partners shown above, in particular, Future Earth Coasts. If you'd like to learn more about this paper, you can go to the link listed below. 500 million people benefit from coral reefs. They are essential for human well-being because they provide food, pharmaceuticals, spiritual, and cultural values. They are important for marine biodiversity. 1/3 of all ocean species occur associated with coral reefs, even though they occupy less than 1% of the surface area of the ocean, or 0.1% of the surface area of the ocean. They're essential for jobs and economy and are estimated to have an economic value of $10 trillion US dollars per year. Tourism and fisheries provide significant income and revenue. And finally, coastline protection. Wave height and wave energy are dissipated by reefs, and flooding is mitigated, saving lives and money. Unfortunately, many reefs have already been lost. Greenhouse gas emissions continue to warm the planet, causing increases in the frequency and intensity of heat waves, leading to coral bleaching and coral death. Increases in ocean acidification exacerbate this and contribute to erosion. Pollution in the form of toxins, plastic, and nutrients damage coral reefs, and nutrients further cause algal overgrowth. Changes in land use through agriculture and deforestation destroy water quality. And invasive species, particularly from shipping, disrupt food webs and kill coral reefs. Finally, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing disrupt reef function. Because we know the facts behind what is causing the demise of coral reefs, we can also come up with solutions. Here we have a plan to save coral reefs that involves reducing global climate threats by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, improving local conditions to build resilience by managing fisheries, reducing pollution, and supporting local communities. And finally, investing in active restoration solutions that will help bridge the gap between now and when climate change comes under control. These 3 strategies are part of maintaining or restoring healthy and resilient reefs. More specifically, specific actions for reducing climate change and limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius are listed here. Models show that limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is essential for maintaining at least 30% of reefs through the end of this century. We can slow climate change by substantially reducing CO2 emissions, halt fossil fuel dependence and transition to green energy, increase carbon storage via conservation of tropical forests, and increase blue carbon sequestration with nature-based solutions. Finally, we can improve filtration of coastal runoff to protect mangroves, seagrass meadows, and coral reefs, the mangroves and seagrass meadows themselves being CO2 sinks. There has been success in some of these projects, mitigating CO2 through blue carbon projects like mangrove reforestation. Secondly, improving local conditions to build resilience can be done by reducing the negative impacts of human activities such as overexploitation of reef resources, pollution, and habitat change, implementing and enforcing sustainable marine protected areas, committing to coherent action across national, regional, and local levels, and removing barriers to cross-sector and jurisdictional cooperation. These will be most successful if they're done in a way that empowers local communities to promote stewardship. And we've seen success at the local levels with marine protected areas. Continuing to expand that and improve that will only help to build resilience. And finally, investing in active restoration and supporting innovation will help with reef persistence this century. Sustaining corals through the current period of stressful climatic conditions will depend on a combination of mitigating climate change, local resilience building, but also active restoration, rehabilitation, and conservation. We do this by investing in technology to facilitate remote monitoring and more frequent reef health updates so we know what is and is not working and can adjust as we go, and by developing scalable and cost-effective technologies to fast-track natural reef recovery. These three strategies, reducing global climate threats, improving local conditions, and investing in active restoration, will help promote healthy and resilient coral reefs and build on existing successes while promoting new innovations and actions. We need to act now. There is no time to waste. The next step is taking this evidence-based information and translating it into policy. How do we translate science into policy? And the International Coral Reef Society and its partners have been actively involved in this transition into the policy forum so that we are part of the discussion and making sure that science is informing policy decisions. We are currently involved in many United Nations actions. The policy landscape is diverse, but these are some key ones that we are involved in with the United Nations that range from COP, which is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and advocating for reducing CO2 emissions to protect coral reefs, to the Convention on Biological Diversity and Ecosystem Restoration. These policy actions, though, need a solid set of guidelines based on evidence, and we have developed three. The first is to establish commitments to ensure ambitions are enough to halt dangerous climate change and coral reef biodiversity loss, and that they are implemented. The second is we are asking for policies to promote coherence, build strong, coordinated, and synergistic actions across related policy fields at all levels of governance. And third, we are asking policies to drive innovation, develop new approaches where current solutions are insufficient to tackle the emergency facing coral reefs. There are things we can do right now that are currently in place that we are involved in and our partners are involved in. These include the COP, the Convention on Biological Diversity, the Global Fund for Coral Reefs, and various G7 and G20 actions that are, or activities that are currently in place or that are being developed. We are also involved in promoting coherence through ICRI. ICRI, the International Coral Reef Initiative, is the hub for organizations and countries that are interested in advocating for coral reefs and saving coral reefs by promoting climate change reductions and local efforts. By uniting into a single coordinated forum, we amplify our voice and become more effective on the international stage for advocating for coral reefs and mitigating climate change. We are also leveraging the 15th International Coral Reef Symposium to deliver our science to policy paper and influencing those discussions with leaders at all levels of government and organizations to promote resilience-based management and nature-based solutions. And finally, innovation being driven by large funding options through the ICRI Global Fund for Coral Reefs and the G20 Global Coral Reef R&D Accelerator platform that ICRS is directly involved in, as well as other UN-led initiatives. The time to act is now. Coral reefs are at a tipping point where inaction is not an option. The ICRS and its partners are actively involved in discussions at all levels to ensure that, one, coral reefs are part of the framework for policies and regulations needed to ensure the persistence of reef ecosystem function this century, and that, two, scientific evidence is the driving force behind decisions and commitments to protect and restore coral reefs. To learn more about rebuilding coral reefs, please click on the QR code below or visit our website. Thank you.